We don't
Scale, which is
know.
why they actually on a scale of 1 to 10. Everything's on a scale of 1 to 10.
Thank you, John.
Now we need to rate ourselves for potential?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is it conceded? If
And
you
it's
say-
okay if you can't rate
3,
yourself.
6,
I don't know.
7, 9, 10.
Okay. Now what?
So now, what's getting in the way of hitting your performance?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
And that would be your interference.
Interference.
So think about it, that's not necessarily a scale of 1 to 10. What's getting in the way from you hitting your performance? So who in the room has a performance level of 5 or below? 1, 2, 3, 4,
You should only raise your hand.
5. Who has a performance level of 6 and above?
I
1,
rate myself
2,
6 and a
3,
half.
Yeah.
4.
No, we said no ice skating scores.
Oh, I missed that.
That's
Sorry,
okay,
6.
so 6.
I don't even know what.
So,
No, I need to run down.
so
Yeah, Craig.
That's so you dirty dog, you. So if our performance is 5 6s, because that's what it sounds like across the board, what needs to happen and what's getting in your way so that this increases to a 10, to a 9, or whatever, and then minus your potential? Because I think your potential is unlimited. I really do believe that all of us, if we got the drama and we got the interference out of our way,
We can.
And I-
we would increase our
verify.
performance.
Do you think though that everybody can get everything out of their way? There will
No.
always be interference.
But you can get, there will always, so if you look at the mathematical equation here,
Uh-huh.
you will always have interference and you will always judge your performance.
Yeah.
Your potential is always unlimited. That was a trick question.
Yeah.
Well, I put more than 10.
Yeah, nobody can ever quantify their potential.
Yeah.
Because as your performance increases and you start becoming a 10,
Yeah.
you're gonna realize the bar got raised and you're no longer a 10 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You
I'm gonna
can-
pick on Connor, huh?
Are you getting robbed right now, or
I
is
don't
everything
know.
okay?
Is that me or?
That was you. It
Oh.
was,
That's good. So we're gonna pick on Connor for 2 seconds. So Connor, you gave yourself a potential of what?
6.
I'm sorry, performance of what?
6.
You gave yourself a 6. Why did you give yourself a 6?
Because my potential is higher.
What's your potential?
That I can't answer.
What makes you think it's higher? What makes you think it's higher?
What makes think my potential is higher?
Uh-huh.
Because I feel like there's interference that is there that may not have to be there.
So what I hear you tell me is, my performance is higher because I know the interference that's in my life and I choose not to get the interference out of the way, but that doesn't limit my performance.
Yes.
Okay, it drastically changes your potential.
Yes.
So what would happen if you were able to wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of the interference in my way? And you went and you said, you, out of the way, this, gone, boom, 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 boom. Do you think it would actually increase your performance?
Yes.
Okay. What are you waiting for?
That comment.
Okay. So what would it take to get your performance to a 10 such that by doing that, you would be able to decrease your interference? What would need to happen?
Well, I think, so, what I hear you asking is, what interference needs to get out of the way to
Increase your
performance?
your performance. Because at the mastermind on Friday, we did this exercise, nobody gave Lavelle a 5. Nobody. And it was interesting. And we were all able to mastermind around the table about what kind of interference, and we all had control. And we gave ourselves up to a 5 because we felt like, oh, we allow the interference, but we're in control of the interference. The reality is, I don't know that we're all in control of the interference.
Yeah.
I don't think.
But
I don't think.
sometimes
I think
things
you're-
happen,
I
you
think.
know?
Yeah, I think it's controllable to an extent. But I
Yeah.
think after a certain
Because
point,
you never
there's no
know, the
control
market
by-
change and all this. but
Well,
you
I'm not
have to-
even. I'm not even saying the market. I'm not even talking about business.
You're talking about
interference.
life in
I'm talking
general.
about personal interference that affects.
Oh, always does.
Yeah.
What about
business
invisible
performance.
interference?
I think it exists.
Yeah.
But it's not tangible, because the reality is you can have visible, tangible interference.
'Cause I think intangible interference is just you versus yourself.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't disagree with you, I think that that is getting off into a theoretical
Yeah.
space.
No,
And I believe that if we got rid of the tangible interference,
Yeah,
the intangibles would be insignificant.
yeah.
And I think,
It really would.
I think it would lower intangibles too, because I think part of,
Yeah,
in my mind, part of the intangible is tangible.
So I want you guys to think about this week. I want you to kind of maybe write this down, put this on your mirror at home, whatever that is, and understand that you need to get to a 10 on performance. You need to wake up every day saying, you know what, I delivered my best shot today. And I know the interference that got in the way, and I worked really hard to suppress, minimize, get the interference out of my way. And how did that increase or decrease my performance for the day? Because if you focus on the day and you guys start celebrating your little wins, which I think is more important than the big win, the big win will follow. It truly will follow. But let's focus on the little wins. So one of the wins that you guys can all have is to get rid of your interference. And sometimes we want that win, and so we will schedule a doctor's appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning. Because while I keep wanting to go to the doctor and get my checkup, I want to do this, and I'm sucking in my real estate business, so I'm just gonna go to the doctor today. Is that a win, truly?
No.
No, it's not. It actually, it disguises as interference.
Yeah.
Hey, awesome, if I do my job today, and I hit my numbers, and I kill that out of the park, I'm gonna go ahead and go to that doctor's appointment tomorrow. And if I don't, then I'm gonna have to reschedule my doctor's appointment. Okay? So I wanted to share that with you guys. I think it gives you a little perspective. I don't know what anybody thinks the potential is, because I think once you start getting close to those goals, your potential is gonna change. It always does. But I think we can focus on our performance, and we can focus on minimizing our interference.
Then,
So I have a job with my coach, and my coach said that I had to write down the following 3 dates. April 1st, May, June, July, 7-1 is July 1st, and October 1st. And he said, Craig, to really get ahead of the shift with your team, on April 1st, you will have finalized your 2020 goals, which is your economic, your GPS, your organizational, your budgets, and your expansions. You will get those all on paper by April 1st. By 7-1, you will have the team for 2020 hired to hit those goals. Between 7-1 and 10-1, you will actually run the team on those goals. So whatever our goals are gonna be for 2020, which we don't even know yet,
No.
we will actually run for 3 months from 7-1 to 10-1 those goals. So I'm telling everybody right now, we're going to be doubling down over that period of time with mandatory overtime, if that makes sense. Like, just to get everybody's headspace where it is. We're gonna be running 2020 goals, and we're gonna see if we can get on track on the daily, a weekly, a month, and a 3-month average. And then on 10-1, that's actually when we're starting our 2020 numbers. We have to get out of this annual calendar, because that doesn't work for us and it doesn't work in Las Vegas. We're not on an annual calendar. We actually take a market shift from October-ish to February-ish, which, to great example, we've done more business in the last 2 weeks than we have in the last 3 months. Because we pumped through the winter, and we kept in contact and we kept pushing that ball. We didn't really give up. Our performance went down, our interference went up, but we didn't give up. And so our potential was still there, and we're seeing the results of that. I mean, we wrote like 9 offers in the last week alone, and like 4 of them got accepted. So we don't give up on that. But he said, Jason said, we have to change the way we're looking at it, and we need to actually back into that dead space. And so October is when our market declines. That's when our new year is going to start. So we're going to run our annual year from October to October.
So we have
Yeah.
fiscal years.
Yep. I want to read something on page 42 of Shift before we get into the tactics. So for those of you who have the book, I'm going to read it. It says 7 steps to a talent shift. And I want you to hold me accountable to this, because I think this is my job. I don't think, I know this is my job. Sit down with your people and share your vision for your business. Tell them the truth about the situation, where the business is today, and where you see it going. Step 2, visit with each person to see if they and you are willing to do whatever it takes. And I think that that's the power question that I don't ask everybody. I assume, and sometimes you guys volunteer it, but it's not a two-way commitment. And so on our 411s this week, we're going to go through these 7 steps, and I'm actually going to ask you if you're willing to do whatever it takes, and you're willing to hold me accountable to doing whatever it takes. Realign job descriptions around the 6 core competencies that must get done. So we no longer have titles. It's now about tasks. So we are all going to become task agents. Because in a shift, that's what matters. You're not a listing agent, you're not a buyer's agent, you're not an admin, you're not a database manager, you're a task manager. By doing the tasks every single day, we will generate the income, we will go on the listing appointments, we will take the listings, we will sell the homes. So realign job descriptions around the 6 core competencies that must get done. You might even consider moving from job descriptions to task descriptions. In this way, your key tasks can be mixed and matched, cross-trained, and swapped out throughout without changing titles or compensation. Seek flexibility and avoid rigidity. Step 4, set easy to measure goals. Now we did this at the end of last year, and this was a real big thing that Brandon brought to the table. He said, hey, we're really learning based, we teach a lot. Let's dive it all back. Let's really get simplistic, let's get real, action driven with the team. And we've done that, which is why we only do trainings on the 1st and 3rd now. I don't want to bore everybody with constant amount of training. And so set easy to measure goals and standards and activities for each person. Be positive. Bob Sean. Hi, I'm the guy with 2 first names. Set easy to measure goals, standards, and activities for each person. Be positive and clearly communicate what needs to happen. Then expect results or resignations. You'll accept either. I love that. I love that. Reasons or results, and you can't have both. And Gary says, I'll accept results or resignations, and either are acceptable. Because I think it's our job as A, top producing teams, and B, top producing rainmakers to say, listen, shit or get off the pot. Real estate's not for everybody, and I'm going to help you identify that sooner rather than later. And so I want to get really clear on the few things that we have to do systematically, such that by doing that, we hit our numbers. And if we don't hit our numbers, we either have a broken system or a broken person. And if it's a broken system, I will take 100% responsibility and I'll fix it. And if we have a broken person, what can I do to help the broken person, or what can the person do to help themselves? And I want to get that clear. So number 5, establish a simple training schedule to make sure everyone knows what to do, how to do it, and what is expected of them. Training not only builds competence, but also confidence and positive expectations. So if we were to take a quarter, and the team leaders, the administrative aspect of the team, and we all got together and said, okay, how do we take our training program and really condense it down so that it's more of a boot camp, and it's really impactful? I want to hear those ideas. Because I think we have a lot of training on the team, I think we have a lot of training at Keller Williams, and I want to get really purposeful on what's important now. Now here's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing, for a brand new agent, I'm willing to put them into 30, 60, 90. And then what normally happens right now is once we're done with the 90, we're done. It's like go out there and sell a bunch of homes, you know everything you need to know. I'm not sure that that's the case anymore. I think that as we go through the shift, we're going to constantly have to change the way we do business, and we're going to constantly have to be
Train ourselves.
retraining, doing something different. Like right now, it's a negotiating industry. A negotiating market. So it's not about just finding a buyer, finding a seller. It's not about that. We can list homes all day long. We can all go out there today and take a buttload of listings. If we will take them at 1%, if we will, less than 6 months on the market, and we will guarantee that we'll sell it. We can take any listing we want. That's not the market right now. We're not willing necessarily to go take a 1% listing. What are we willing to do? And what is the training related to that? So I want to put together a continuously evolving 30, 60, 90. And I think that when we as agents get out of a 90-day, we go into another 30, 60, 90, and that is another level. Okay, it's another level. I'm waiting for a really important phone call, so that's why my phone's on normally. You guys have never heard my phone, so.
That's why it's weird.
Yeah, I can't miss the call, so. I wanna continue with the 30, 60, 90, and I wanna do it every 30, 60, 90 days. So put that in the back of your head, and I'm gonna lean in on leadership to come up with a plan with me. Number 6, meet weekly with each individual to evaluate their success and reach agreements on any corrective action. Okay, we do that. We do it 411. I think we can get more purposeful. Don't make the mistake of believing that once changes are made, everyone is on board. I understand that. You must inspect what you expect. Touch base regularly and check in to see how they're doing. So my job right now in the shift should be getting a little more touchy with you guys and your business. I don't necessarily have to sit in on the 411 per se, I'm willing to, but week 2, week 3, week 4 of the month, I should be touching in on you and saying, hey, how's your business? What's going on? What can I do to help you? What was the win? What do you think you should have done differently? And just
Is the team leader
understand.
tell you like how the team's doing? Is
So-
it individually off to every person?
So I get a level of feedback from Sharon and from Connor. I think that will get stronger as we get into higher levels of production. I think that when they're a little more comfortable and they've got you guys communicating regularly, we'll have better conversation. But it's not non-existent. It's just broken. That's all. And so we just have to increase upon that. What would ideally happen is you guys would all have your 411 on week 2, week 3, and week 4, and I would review the 411. Okay, and then I can go back to them and I can say, hey Sharon, you had a 411 with Fernanda, and here's what I saw. How do you feel about this? What do you think she needs to do? What do you have in place? Because my job is also to make her a better leader. So I want them to have a level of flexibility to get into your business with you, because they need to see you be successful. Because by you being successful, they become successful. By them becoming successful, I become successful. Okay? So, all right, and then number 7, celebrate the small victories as well as the big ones. Celebrate the individual wins as well as the team success. And I don't know that we're celebrating the individual wins. However, I was the only one that brought up our teams have a weekly point system and they win, and people were writing, they couldn't write fast enough. And I'm like, well, it's not anything rocket science. This is what we have. We have 2 fire teams, and they get points for appointments held, contracts written, escrows open, that kind of stuff, and based on their wins, the team who wins for the week gets some preferential treatment on team systems.
So I have a question on that last one.
Mhm.
A few months ago, I think we had a conversation, I don't know if John, I know it was us 3, maybe John too, is we got into, are we celebrating the small wins too much?
Okay.
And so I don't know, so I'm confused a little bit, I'm conflicted on that.
So let's talk about it for a minute. Does anybody in the room think that we're celebrating the small wins too much?
I'm not saying that we are, I'm saying that was a topic that came up, is,
Right.
you know, maybe we're celebrating the smaller wins, and then we're focused too much on the smaller wins, not on the.
I think it's important, I think small wins and celebrating is important to keep somebody going, just because the result that everybody's looking for
It's
is
exciting and, yeah.
is very far out. Setting an appointment's not necessarily exciting, and holding an appointment's not necessarily exciting either. Getting,
But it's a win though.
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if somebody goes out and sets an appointment and they don't hold it, or say they hold the appointment and they don't get the contract from it, it's a matter of celebrating the fact that they actually set the appointment and then that appointment held, just so that they don't get discouraged moving forward.
And you
So
know,
it's a like a 2-clap situation type of, hey, good job, now go get another one, get a contract.
Not necessarily saying somewhere along the lines of, okay, you know, you went out, you spoke to somebody that you didn't know, you had a great conversation with them, that's commendable. And you were able to set an appointment, and the appointment was set with enough emotional depth with that person that it actually held. So you're moving forward, whereas before, 15 days ago, you weren't doing that. Now you're having better conversations and you have more knowledge on the subject now. Now it's a matter of how can we
I can
brush
go
up,
forward,
and
yeah.
how can we polish your presentation while you're there, so that moving forward you'll get a contract. But it's a matter of letting the person know that you're making progress, because all human beings want to know that they're progressing forward. And when we don't feel like we're progressing forward, when we're complacent, that's when
Stop,
we
yeah.
lose interest, and that's when we stop taking action to get towards where we wanna be in life.
So, on that note, I think maybe there was a time that we celebrated everything. And so I think if I were to go back to, how many hours we prospected, how many contacts we made, how many appointments we set, how many appointments we held, how many appointments that were held went to contract, how many contracts got to closing, and that was all wins. Yeah. And what we didn't do is say, well, great, did this person increase their contact to conversion ratio? So did they talk to less amount of people and convert more of them? Did they go on more appointments and take more listings? Of those listings, did they get more contracts? Of the contracts they got, did they close more? And are those now considered wins? And how do we keep pushing that person? Because I'm a firm believer, if every time John smiles, because he's not a habitual smiler, every time he smiles, I'm like, John, you smile, high five. His standard has now been set here. And I say, come on, John, let's do 5 smiles today instead of 2. Come on, John, smile again. Now I'm pushing him. Now I'm saying, let's constantly smile.
So it's more of, it's not necessarily celebrating as much as it is pushing the person out of
Yeah.
comfort.
So here's what I would like you guys to think about. The issues between earning $1 million and netting $1 million comes down to 5 sections. The lead section, and if you have, none of you have your MREA with you, but sustaining a solid lead generation program that emphasizes marketing consistently increases the numbers of leads. That would be a measurable result. We could incentivize on that. Tracking and converting leads through others. We could incentivize on that. Protecting your lead generation focus time. We could incentivize on that. Weighing your options, the process of discovering what works and what doesn't work. We could incentivize on that. And then you transition to the listing aspect. Knowing the minimum number of seller listings you must list every month and hitting it. Listing the minimum number. Getting sellers to accept the team concept. Consistently marketing your seller listings for more leads. Those would be things that we could all incentivize on. Leverage. Making the time to learn and implement RTCK, the recruit, train, consult, keep process. Hiring capacity versus cul-de-sac talent. That would be my job. Achieving accountability to the right standards. Creating teamwork with rock and roll, R-O-L-E, not R-O-O-L. Combining quality service and quantity service. Those would all be things that we can incentivize on. Money. Sticking to your budget model and controlling your costs. That's something, hell, I would really incentivize the team on that one. And then, personally, focus on your 20%, counterbalance your life to maintain your energy at a high level. Like if we really wanted to focus in on little wins, I would encourage you guys to go to page 219 of the MREA, and I would encourage you as team leaders to say, you know what, let's create a program that incentivizes, because we're doing some of them.
What page is that?
219 of the MREA. That is really what's going to set you apart from all of your counterparts, team members out there. And if we just focused on those things, that would be your job description. Any questions on that? All right, let's go to tactic 6. So tactic 6 is catch people in your web, internet lead conversion. So for those of you, it's a very, very, very short chapter, so I'm just going to read some stuff out of it. We are not going to focus a lot on it. A shift forces you to rethink almost everything you do. Yeah, that's why we're having a lot of conversations right now. That's why people who come into the room for the very first time are like, oh my God, where's this team coming from? Yeah, because we're going back to ground zero and we're redoing our foundation because we know that the market's going to be different in 6 to 12 months. It's going to be different. There are already people out there getting out of business. Already. I'm excited to see the January and February numbers from the GLVAR because I'll bet you the numbers are down. And I'll bet you by the end of the first quarter, I'll bet you we are now under 17,000 agents again.
When that first $300 comes due.
That's what's happening.
Oh, it's happening
They
right
went
now.
inactive.
I had to pay it to wait
They
for
went
it.
inactive, they get like 45, 60 days from the real estate division or whatever, and now we're gonna see them just go into, into inactive status with the
Nobody
real
just
estate.
send me like, you owe $300.
The scarcity of business and the competition for it tugs at your pocketbook and tests your willpower. The critical area you may have to reassess is your internet strategy, which sits at the crossroads of expense management and lead generation. The shift has forced you to re-margin your business, cutting spending on everything that isn't leading to real financial results. So we cut back on our real estate ad spend. And we did that for two reasons. One, we weren't seeing the conversion rate. And two, we weren't seeing the cost per lead go down over 3 months with Brevity. The month before we cut our ad spend, I had them increase the Facebook ad spend, which it's a longer conversion, it's a long-term nurturer, but it's a cost per lead is a lot less. And so my averages went from $33 down to $13, I think. Yeah, Jacob said $13. And we went from like, how many leads did we have last month? We had what, 60 something leads?
Were you getting more leads from?
And then we went down to, last month we had how many? 17. And I'm still not happy.
We getting more leads for Brevity?
It's not that you're getting more leads. I'm trying to find a sweet spot. And unfortunately, it's just trial and error. So I have to pull back ad spend and then hold them accountable to increase the amount of leads for that price to see what the cost per lead is and then see the conversion. So we're playing that game. Because that's an important part of the shift. Now that's just part of our lead gen budget. I mean, we're paying for Mojo, we're paying for lists. We have all of these things in our system. We have Brevity, these are all part of our leads that you guys get on the team. Other teams, they don't even get all that. I mean, they're like, hey, welcome to the team. You're lucky to be in business with me, and this is what we're gonna do. They don't get anything.
We're gonna get Cole again?
We're not gonna get Cole again. We are going to go to the neighborhood of Mojo, and we're gonna see how that works.
Okay.
Okay. So, in line with that, the shift has forced you to remargin your business, cutting spending and everything that isn't leading to a real financial result. As a result, the expenses of your internet strategy are now under serious scrutiny. The shift also has forced you to refocus your lead generation in methods that deliver motivated leads ready to buy or sell today, and even demand that your long-term activities yield as much near-term business as possible. So, Patty and I had a conversation on Friday after my mastermind. And Patty, what was the directive that I gave you as far as we need to be a team that gives what? Leads. Yeah. So make no mistake, my job is to provide my team with leads. Now that doesn't necessarily mean here's John A. Appleton, he just came into the system, you call him and nurture him and put him in your database. Even though some people think that's what it is.
Yeah.
The one thing I want you guys to understand is that a lead is a qualified, ready, willing, and able buyer or seller. That means that they are alive, they have a pulse, and they have some level of motivation now or forever. Otherwise, they are nothing but a contact or a prospect. My job is to provide you with leads. A lot of these teams and a lot of these brokerages, they provide you with a database full of numbers. These people are no different than the phone book. And I want you to think about that. I want you to think, you know what? There's a lot of people out there that just get a phone book handed to them. So I want to get better at that. I want to strengthen that. I would rather give you 5 leads a month that have your idea of good and my idea of good are two different things.
Yeah.
That have a validated contact number, that are looking at our website, that we have actually talked to or spoken to in some fashion. That is so much better than, oh, hey, you get 30 leads
Yeah, I agree with you.
into your database that mean nothing.
Mhm.
Okay? So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna get better at that. We're gonna qualify that better. And it still goes back to that 1-for-1, which is our agreement to be in partnership. You're going to generate a lead, and I'm going to generate a lead. Okay? So I wanted you guys to hold me accountable that that's the conversation I had, and I said, Patty, that's your job. And so Patty is going to actually look in the database and say, is it better for the ISAs to convert these contacts or these prospects, call them 12 times a week, blow them up on the phone, do all that stuff, and then when they finally get them, then give them to the agent? Is that better? I don't know.
think we all can do that together.
I looked at the database over the weekend and, we're not all that good, okay?
Okay.
And there's nobody in the room that's killing it out of the park.
I was gonna say, we get good ones. aren't
Yeah,
that good?
it's hard. I mean, it really is hard. And so the conversation is, well, how do we get them the best qualified lead? Because they're not going to call 12 times over 12 days. The intentions are good, but as a standard, it's not gonna
Bless
happen.
you.
So is it better for the agent, for an ISA, that's their whole job, is to sit there and blow these people up for 12 days with no filter, they don't care. I don't care if you tell me to F off, you're the one that got into my system. I didn't go find you. And then hand that lead over and say, hey, you need to call this person, they're ready now. They're warm. Okay, and I don't have the answer yet, but I'm gonna get the answer quickly.
And maybe like we have some more, I don't know if it's a training, but how when you talk to those people and how to engage more with them, Cause I got a lead yesterday, I called, and said text, and I asked her, this is so-and-so, I said yes, and I replied back,
Okay.
and he never replied me back, so how do I do?
So sounds like conversion.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you want a little focus on internet lead conversion. Okay, fair enough. So consequently, the results from your internet strategy are now under serious scrutiny as well. And here's the hitch. Generally, a quality lead from the internet is difficult in good times. In a shift, it can be downright daunting. I know that. The internet buyer lead in a shift will just sit back because they don't always have the level of motivation. They come into our system as somebody who's thinking about buying or selling.
Or just shopping around.
It's typically the first step. So we have to get really good at nurturing. And so part of the disservice might be that we're giving you guys somebody who's 18 to 24 months out, and you could be somewhat discouraged. So my question for Patty is, what type of lead sources out there, which I know, would allow us a higher now conversion, even though it may cost more money? Now, unfortunately, you know who's the number one highest lead conversion now and costs more money? Zillow. Zillow. I could spend $2,500 to $3,000 on Zillow a month, and I would get 3 deals a month. Probably more. I would guarantee 3 deals a month. But the conversion rate, the cost per lead,
It's a lot.
it's $1,000. Roughly, it's $1,000.
Wow.
But
So
that lead is more.
per lead, per ready, willing, and able buyer now.
So it's 3,000 a month?
Well, you're not gonna get 3. They're
Yeah.
not gonna say, okay, here's the 3. You're gonna get 20 to 30, and one of those
Yeah.
is going to be ready to go. Okay? So, we're looking at that. And I'll come back to you because I want you guys to have now business as well. But Patty, she ran the numbers for the last 2 weeks for me for reporting, and she says, listen, I can see, Craig, I can see these agents going into the database consistently, and they're actually setting appointments and writing offers on people who are in the database for the last 24 months. And she says, statistically, it's the same 3 agents, right? 3 agents or 2 agents?
Patty?
3 agents. There's 3 agents in this room that are consistently farming the database, our database, and they are doing business. So I still think that there's gold in the database. And last but not least, according to Tactic 6, unfortunately many agents have long operated under the misconception that a website is more about professional branding or validity than about lead generation. They build a site without much forethought or strategy simply because they believe their buyer and sellers expect them to have one. They're working under the mistaken myth of, if I build it, they will come. No. You build a website to convert. That's the job of the website. It's not there to validate you. It's not there to rise you up on a pedestal as a real estate agent. It is there to provide them what they want based on you getting them there. So our website is not warm and fuzzy from a real estate agent perspective because that's not the intention. It's to give them the information they want so that they make a decision now. That's all the website is there to do. We can see what they do on the back end.
That really makes me think how good Sync's website was then too. Cause I personally didn't like Sync's
Yeah.
website, but it was very
It's
functional.
just about conversion.
It was
So
very functional.
it's, as Deanna would tell you, just straight to the meat and potatoes.
That's it. Give them what they want when they want it because that's how we marketed it. That's how we marketed them. Now you meet somebody in a networking event and you're like, oh my God, you're so awesome. I love your hair. You're just so beautiful. Hey, go to my website. You're gonna learn all about me. And they go to your website and like, all I see is a picture of you. I don't see anything about you.
Yeah,
That website's not going to convert that person,
no.
but it's not intended to.
The website's intended for someone that's searching out homes for sale in Las Vegas.
You're right. So I want you guys to write this down. I want you to think about it. And this isn't really for discussion today. 19 to saturate, 7 to convert, and 39 to connect.
7 to convert?
Yep. 7 to convert and 39 to connect. Gary now says in the shift, we should not be on a 12 by 12. We should be on a 19.
19 by 19.
Nope. 19 by 12. 19 touches in 12 days. And the goal of that is only to saturate them, which is, I love the fact that you're like, whoa, that's a hell of a lot of content. Yeah. Get them while they're hot. Get the drunk monkey off of your table.
So if they come in, it's 19 times in the next 12 days.
That's it.
But is that including our texts, call, email?
That's all. Saturate them. Let them know that you are the most powerful, resilient, aggressive real estate agent out there.
And
We're
push
specifically
leads.
talking about buyer leads, but this could be used for everybody. And then 7 direct. Used to be a 12 direct, 7 direct to convert. So somebody gets into your system, they want to sell, you don't convert them at that point, you put them on a 7 direct, 7 contacts over 7 months.
7 weeks.
7 weeks, sorry. I'm thinking 36 touch. 7 contacts over 7 weeks. Email, postcard, knock on their door, whatever that is. And then to connect with them, 39 touch. He says 36, we do a 39, I up to 39. Okay? Any questions on that?
39 touch, is that just for past clients in Sphere? Or is that for somebody who came into the lead who says I'm 12 months out?
Doesn't matter, does it? So the 19 is to
Yeah.
get them from an attempted to a contacted. That's the goal. But if you can't get them from an attempted to contact, what do you do? What do you do? In any lead model in here, we have an 8 by 8, right? Okay, that is to saturate them. That was the old one. That was the old model. Just to saturate them. And if we didn't get them as a contacted, what did we do? We put them on a 12 direct.
Oh.
Okay? This is a listing.
Okay.
And after a 12 direct, we put them on a 36 touch.
Oh,
Forever.
that's for a
Gotcha.
listing.
Yeah, for a listing. And the
Gotcha.
buyer is pretty much the same, but specifically a listing.
Okay.
So now, that has to intensify in this market, okay? Because you have to really seek out the motivated. That's the name of the game in a shift. Go find the motivated.
Mhm.
There are buyers and sellers in any market. Motivated buyers and sellers are here today, and they're the people that want to do business with us. So go find the motivation. Does that all make sense?
Mhm.
Is there any questions on that? So Gary says in his model on page 112 of Shift, 1, create and maintain internet presence through tools and content. We do that, we do it really well. 2, lead generate the traffic, online marketing, offline marketing. So every time you post something, every time you write up an open house thing, every time somebody goes into your real estate business, you need to give them something that A, goes to the internet, and B, goes to you. every single time. You post a funny on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever, you need to put name.teamtippy.com, because the chances are good they will still go to your website and you will capture them.
I never thought about that. Put in the website.
You need to text, use
Yeah.
Quickly. Our Quickly, by the way, our Quickly report went up by like 300% over the last month. Because I'm giving you guys Quickly, and I'm giving it out to everybody else, and I'm
Yeah.
putting Quickly on all of our website stuff,
Yeah.
and so now people are starting to use Quickly. Now, I don't even know all these people, they're going in as a lead, but I'm seeing the report that jumped up to like 216 Quickly touches last month, because they're using Quickly now to search for homes, which means now they're getting into our website, which means now we're generating leads from that, which ultimately lowers our cost per lead. So we just have to be systematic in our approach. And then number 3, capture, connect, cultivate, and close leads through compelling offers, capture mechanisms, and quick responses. So Fernanda, when you say I don't know how to convert, I would say, did you capture the lead? What did you do to capture? Are you connecting with them? 19, 7, 39 touch. Are you cultivating them? Are you loving on them and regard? Are you getting your drunk monkey off the table?
Yeah.
And do you know how to close the lead? Are you looking for the buying signal? You guys heard Jeff last week in his class where he said that he had a friend of his who was a top producing agent who, the agent hired some agent, or the lender, he had a top producing lender. He and his wife hired an agent. They went out and looked at some godly amount of homes. And the lender, who's a top producing lender in the country, was like, I know my wife, and I don't know why you can't close on a home. And he goes, I'm going out with you next week, and I guarantee we're gonna buy a home. And they literally went out, they looked at a home, and they watched the wife, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is what I thought Jeff told me. The wife looks out the window, and she's like,
No, she's just standing there.
she's just looking out the window.
Yeah.
And then she's standing in the living room, and she's like, and the lender, who's the husband, steps back and goes to the agent, goes, are you gonna do something about this? Because the agent didn't realize that's her doing this, saying, I love this home, I love this home, I love this home.
Yeah.
So do you know how to convert? Do you know how to look for buying signals? Because that's really important. That's really important in our job. Some people are naturally gifted at finding buying signals. Like, oh, you love that carpet? Oh, that's a beautiful carpet. Yes, I don't even know if you can get that carpet anymore. You can probably sell that carpet when you want to for top dollar.
Don't give me that.
No, I'm just saying. Beautiful neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. You love this neighborhood. What do you love about this neighborhood? Oh, I can't agree with you more. Beautiful neighborhood. Oh, you hate this house? Yeah, I don't like this house either. What makes you not like this house? There is no such thing as perfect home.
Yeah.
If somebody gives it a 4, that's why when I represent a buyer, if it's between a 4 and a 5, we're writing off.
Yeah.
Rarely have I had somebody without looking at a home give it a 5. Rarely. And usually when they did give it a 5, they saw the home, it came down. So what would make it a 5? And it's usually some bullshit answer. Oh, I don't like the pink in the girl's bedroom. Okay, well that's easy to replace. It's $1 a square foot. Average room is 400 square feet of wall,
Is it really $1 a square foot?
roughly.
You're
Replacing flooring is roughly $300 a square foot, roughly. So awesome. So if we can get this painted or get a credit, you're telling me it would be a 5? Well, I don't really like the landscape in the backyard. Okay. Fine signals. Okay. So that is literally conversion. I want you guys to read that. Most of you have the book. It's going to give you some really good stuff about the elements of a great agent website. Our website checks all the boxes. It's going to talk about the flow, the lead flow from our website to actual closing, and then how to get back into our website as a past client. So I want you guys just to spend a little time on that, but that's pretty much it. Any questions on Tactic 6? So the takeaway from that level of training was, what are you doing with the systems that we have in order to use your systems for more conversations? Get everybody that you're in business with into your system, because You need to connect with them, cultivate them, convert them, close them. Okay, and that is a process. It's not an event. Okay?
As Grant Cardone would
Alright.
say, 10x that shit.
Yeah, yeah, do it more and more often. All right, so now let's get into command. Anybody know what this? Anybody know what that looks like?
Oh, you know what, I don't think I can.
Is anybody not in command?
No,
I gotta,
Okay. So you're gonna go to, type in this URL,
okay.
console.command.kw.com. Console.command.kw, this is just, I mean, I think there's another way to get there, but
Is it command with a C or a K?
see,
Console.command.
KW.com.
Didn't work for me.
Console.command.kw.
Oh, console?
C-O-N-S-O-L-E.
Console.
C-O-N-S-O-L-E dot C-O-M-M-A-N-D
Console.
dot K-W.com /command. And I'm not even sure that you need the / yet.
No,
Oh,
dot
this is what I
com.
should see?
Look, let me see, girl.
Okay.
You gotta spell console. You got
Yeah, so then log in with your KW username and password.
Yeah, no, console what?
.command.kw.com.
Okay, log in with your KW username and password.
Why is this
No,
not?
I don't
know
have
that.
it.
You should all have it.
I have one, I don't know it though.
I don't know my email.
It's gonna be your email address, not your Team Tiffy, but your personal one.
Yeah. I don't think I was set up that though. What?
They would have set you up when you
Okay.
onboarded. Did we?
Oh my God.
Come on, people.
It's on
There we go.
Ugh.
Okay, who is not in?
Nah.
If you're not hung at KW yet, you won't be able to get in.
You can do it with your, you know, when they give you like your first name and last name, like D Doria, and then your password, you could do it that way, or like you said, the email.
Okay.
I just entered in my, other thing.
Okay, so you're in.
Yeah.
Okay. So just kind of sneak in on hers.
Oh, you're okay.
Everybody in?
No, what's your
No.
one?
Have you sent it?
Nope. Not getting mine. This is my personal account.
No, it's not fine.
I think I might be briefly.
So it's
I
either
see your
Brandon,
username. I don't
Brandon,
see your username.
KW. It's the same one you would use to get into your dot loop, not my dot loop.
I don't.
It's the
no,
same
we
one you
use
would
your
use to get
document.
into
We use-
mykw.com.
I don't have
Do
it.
you ever get into mykw.com?
No.
What do I need to do that
Oh
for?
my God, there's all kinds of cool stuff in there.
there is.
That's
Are
the
you
problem
in?
with having a team.
In
You're
what?
in command?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Damn.
Go to,
Oh, it's dead.
okay.
I
Sorry.
don't have, I
For
don't have my
instance,
password.
I'm in if you wanna, if you're looking.
You should have
No,
your username and password.
My,
Shirley have Marissa?
Yeah.
No, I don't have, I never
No,
like.
it'd be your email address.
Listen, Linda,
My login.
Listen,
To
Linda,
this,
don't
to
yell
make
at me.
that,
Let me
make
go
that
ask
loop.
for that.
But-
They're not gonna have it and Shirley's not here.
Okay.
So we'll move forward with, you guys can do mine. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the dashboard, and this is ever evolving, but this is the dashboard. And so on the dashboard, you're gonna have the contacts manager, the opportunities manager, the groups manager, the lead accelerator, the local insights, the referrals, the settings, and it goes off again. I think it's because I don't have my plugged in. Local insights, referrals, settings, Sketch House, that's kind of Canva. Think Sketch House is Canva. Smart plans, landing pages, reports, and email campaigns. So let's go into contacts.
Let's do that.
Do it.
Let's do that. Let's click over to contacts.
And this comes from the KW app as well, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This is where they spent 5.
So you can see that I have, for people that I have automatically put into my system through Kelly or through mykw.com, it's auto-populating.
Aura Porras.
So-
I know who that is.
Yeah, I know who that is.
How-
5 months ago, she got into my system.
However, with this system, Patty can't necessarily on our end, right?
we're gonna talk about the team section, and this is why I want you guys just to start playing with it. Feel free to put contacts in there.
Okay.
You're not necessarily gonna run the system. Think of it as dot loop.
Okay.
You all have your own. We're just going to be using mine.
Gotcha.
And I'll talk about why in
Gotcha.
a few minutes.
Okay.
So here you can add people, you can filter it, this is your contacts database. It's real simplified, it's real easy. But this is a place that you can see everybody, and you can see some statuses, last visited, last contact, system tax, okay? Then if we were to go down, it's gonna take us to Smart Plan. These are like drip campaigns. We could do a 33 touch. You could watch the video, learn how to do it on your own. 33 touch,
Are your action plans being fully implemented? Are they really action hopes? With Command, you can move from action hopes to smart plans. Smart plans is the engine behind Command that allows you to automate your functionary activities so that you can focus on being a fiduciary to your clients. This workflow management and automation tool enables you to be 100% certain your listing checklists, drip campaigns, marketing, and much more are carried out in the way you intended. To get started with Smart Plans, click the Smart Plans icon. Next, click My Smart Plans. When you first open the page, it'll be blank and ready for you to select or create a Smart Plan. If you want to use a Smart Plan that's already been created, browse the KW library. If you see something you like, you can preview the plan and add it to My Smart Plans by clicking the plus sign. If you choose to create your own Smart Plan, just click Create New Smart Plan. It's quick and easy with the click and drag feature. Add items such as tasks you need to complete, such as staging a house on a listing Smart Plan, delays, the amount of time to wait before taking another action, emails. These can be part of a marketing campaign or follow-up emails. Watch for additional items to be added as they move through the lab's process. If you're on a team, your Smart Plans are immediately shared in the exclusive team library. And since Command tools are integrated, Smart Plan activities are automatically associated and accessible from the relevant contact. For example, if you use Smart Plans to send personalized happy birthday emails, you'll also find those emails on that contact's activities. Once you've activated a Smart Plan, you can go back to the dashboard to view My Analytics. From Analytics, you can easily measure your results and make smart decisions about which activities to adjust or double down on to amplify your business. With Smart Plans, you're not hoping. You're automating smart business strategies so that you can focus on providing extraordinary value to your consumer.
So when will this have integrated
So
with
it was active. It's now back in inactive status. I think they're fixing some stuff, redoing some stuff. So that's going to happen. Things are going to be available for us to play with. We're going to break it. They're going to go back. They're going to redo it. I've seen this happen for months. Your question is when it's going to integrate with?
the online with the phones? Like what we were watching on the Tech Roadshow that you and Terry were talking about with everything that was going on with the phone?
Yep.
Because that's all linked, correct?
So you're talking Connect. Okay, so Connect is the consumer version,
Yes.
KW.com.
Yeah.
That comes out, I think, Q3.
Okay. And
Okay.
when will this back end of Command, would you say, be at full power?
Some things, like last week, Smart Plans was up and running.
Okay.
So it's
So they're probably fixing
No,
something.
yeah,
working
it's
on it,
constantly gonna be in and out. And so we're gonna run Brevity, so Brevity integrates 100% with Command. Okay, it'll be transparent. Our goal is to do everything in Command to the point where we forget about Brevity. Like, oh, well, we just do it in Command. When I get to about 60 to 80%, we will stop using Brevity.
So you're getting all your contacts to Command?
Are we,
We will be doing all that on your behalf, importing it, it'll automatically integrate. They're working on it now.
Oh, so you don't have to pay for another service?
Right, and then we'll take that money and we'll start using that for more ad spend. We'll
Yes.
start using that for other things, yeah.
do you not want me or anyone on the team using our personal KW login for now? Or do you
I
want us
want you guys to go in and play,
Okay,
okay? I want you to go in and play.
I'm gonna go get.
How many have been into E-Edge?
I have, it's terrible.
Okay. I mean, it is.
It is. No, it genuinely
It is.
It is.
I want you to play.
Yeah.
because here's what's gonna happen. About Q2, Patty is going to roll out the Teams version.
I was gonna ask that, is there gonna be?
April, May is what they're telling me.
And then, so is the Teams version gonna integrate, like, is Team Tibby gonna integrate with Connor Martin?
They just literally, they push a button at Market Center MC command. They push a button and they say, Connor, Sharon, John, Brandon, blah, 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 Team Tippy. And your system automatically integrates. If you ever leave the team, at offboarding, they go,
And check it.
deselect. That's it.
Will Patty have access to that?
Yep, Patty will have access to the brain.
Okay, so that way, and all, like, when an agent leaves Team Tippy, they can offboard and say, okay, well, you get this one, this one, this one, this.
We hold, my team holds to the values of Keller Williams. Your leads, your listings.
Exactly.
Okay? Your lead, you bring your sphere of influence in, you take it with you.
Yeah.
You have a lead that has an intention of buying at some point, you can prove that to me, I want you to work with that lead.
Just get the team.
It's all about the client.
Of course.
I mean, that's our belief system.
Yeah.
So that will allow me to, like, if you left the team and said, you know what, Craig, I come to work the last four days and you smelled and I just can't deal with you anymore, I'm out of here. Hygiene's really important to me. Actually, probably be Sharon that would be saying that. She's the germaphobe. I'm leaving the team. Great, let's offboard you and let's go ahead and convert these. Hey, there's 4 leads in here that looks like, you're saying 1 to 3 months. Do you really think they're gonna sell in 1 to 3 months or buy? And you're gonna be like, yeah, okay, great, we're gonna just keep those with yours. Here's a referral fee, go ahead and sign that. We're gonna put that to the front desk. Simple. I want it to be simple, non-dramatic, non-emotional.
Of course.
Great.
Okay.
So that's Smart Plans. Moving on. She's like, what?
I'm only a germaphobe because I keep getting sick whenever I work in the office for longer periods.
So we're working in Command right now. We've got a few things happening. We are doing some referrals through Command.
We get some party
Okay.
guides.
We're starting to like move this thing down the road.
Okay.
And so you can see some of the people that are in our referral network. I have 4 pending invites that I gotta go in and approve. We actually get referrals, like I apparently have an inbound referral.
I have 2 outbound referrals too.
So I didn't know about this, so I need to go into Command, maybe Patty can do it, go in and accept the referrals. So this is part of our lead generation system, because what'll happen is people can search referrals based off of our production, if I'm in maps, if we've done bold, if we're luxury, if we do commercial, they can search all of that.
I don't know, with Coach Russ too. Should get a-
He texted me, by the way, and said, can we talk? And I said, no.
Did you really?
What?
You literally just said no.
Why do you wanna talk to you right now? Is here?
Do you ever doubt me?
I
do
please.
wanna see this.
But please.
What he's doing here?
Because he texted me and I went. Can we chat about it? No. First he said, oh, it's the original text that he said.
Yeah, I said no. He said, can we chat about it?
I'm gonna say no.
Who is this?
Coach Russ.
You said no in all caps
What do you
too.
want from you guys?
Okay, so if you look in referrals,
I say no too.
so I have a couple of referrals out there right now. One of them saying, a referral is no longer interested. I think they bought a mobile home. So it's a great space to keep your information and constantly go back and.
Arsenio and Brandon.
Wait, what? My name's up there?
No.
Brandon.
Arsenia and Brando. Oh.
That's the name of the clients.
Wow,
It's Arsenio.
Arsenio.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That was the,
I didn't even know that existed.
that's his bowling name.
So I could do a new referral. I could zoom in on where I wanted to, and this is great for you, because I know you go on to like the bold sites and all that stuff.
Yeah.
This is a great place to get them to compete
Oh,
for your
okay.
business. And you can go in and you can say like, okay, Las Vegas, and you can zoom in. Now watch what happens here. When I start getting hyper local, you'll start seeing some agents pop up, and you'll see them here.
Oh my God.
Rick Rickes.
Well,
He's
yeah,
number 2.
and based on my filters,
Damn, number 2.
I can say I want them to be this is my standard filters. I want them to be a Maps Mastery client. I want them to have GPS. We do it. I want them to be luxury. I want them to be commercial. I want them to do land. Or I want him to have an expansion team.
So big Brinkus.
I want, how many closed units? I want him to have at least 100 closed units. You can set up your search, and then that's how they're gonna, so you can get it down to 3 or 4 really high performing top producers. That's how we get some of the referrals that we get. And then, based on their physical location, you could actually go, you could zoom in.
Is that Terry with the picture of Rick? She looks very dark.
It looks like
And
a
you can
very
find that.
tan.
Okay, anywhere, you can find a Keller Williams, you can find the actual agents.
So when we log in Command, like, it's registered over there, log in and working on a page?
So, I want you to play around, I don't necessarily want you could use the referral network, I think that's important. I don't necessarily want you to conduct business out of Command yet.
Okay,
Now, what might happen is, in the next week or two, Patty might say, you know what? Here is Craig's login, everybody, and I want you to start conducting business on these things. Maybe when we have an open escrow, I want you to put the escrow in Command, and we'll start tracking the activities through
we
Command.
need to learn how to use it more.
Well, that's why that's why we're doing the class today. I want you guys
It's
just
like,
to see.
very confused.
Fernanda just
It's
said.
very simple. Command is not, it's not,
It's not worth it.
yeah, it's not extreme, it's very simple to use. So then we get into what's called opportunities. And so opportunities, it's gonna get a different name, but it's gonna talk about our areas of business. So how many appointments did I set today? Did I hold those? How many actives do I have? How many under contracts? How many closed? So this is based off of your
I like
GCI.
that. Wow, that is nice.
Okay, your 135, your 4 conversations, all that stuff. And then it's gonna be able to actually track your business. So we're gonna start getting into this. This has a lot of what CGI has. I don't know that I'm gonna get rid of CGI because it has the whole financial back end for me.
CTE.
I'm sorry, CTE. I don't know that I'm gonna get rid of CTE because it has the financial back end. But for the front end, for you guys, I don't know if there's like a little app. I think there is. I think you could literally do My
You could just
KW
pull it
on
up
your
on the
phone,
Command app.
and you just put it in there.
Yeah, no, you can, on Kelly, isn't it on Kelly?
It's possible, yep, I don't have the answer. But it'll tell you where you're at. It'll say, this is, you won the day, you lost the day. It'll tell you what you need to do. It gives you an idea of where your opportunities are, okay? Marketing, it's gonna tell you your marketing campaigns. It's gonna tell you what we've done. So I've ran a couple of test marketing campaigns in the past. I've got a couple that I'm ready to launch again. I haven't done that yet, but they're ready. This is our online ad spend. This is kind of what I was telling you, that we get contract pricing. We can get hyper local. I can target a 24-year-old female who's been at her job for 5 months or longer in Summerlin North.
Yeah,
I could.
yeah.
I can get, and then I can see everything that's happening through that as well. So it's a little bit better than going to Facebook and doing an ad budget directly. Because it's gonna also give you, and I don't know if it shows it yet, but it's gonna give you your analytics.
I wonder what the difference is, because you can get hyperlocal like that on the business side of Facebook. I'm curious what the difference is in the contractor versus Facebook.
So I think it's 75 cents per every dollar. That's what Keller Williams is actually
okay.
charging you.
That's
So you're
cool.
gonna save a 25 cent. It also is gonna feed you the analytics based off of real estate performance.
So it's
That's cool.
integrated with Facebook.
It's integrated, yep.
Yeah.
And with Twitter and Instagram and all those, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's fun.
What I'm not seeing here I'm not seeing the, maybe this is it. Yeah, it's not showing me like the graphs and the charts and all that stuff, it's because it says coming soon. So, but it will give you all of the analytics. It'll tell you the best time of day that your ad's performing,
Yeah.
how to change the ad, dynamics a little bit for real estate, other real estate ads. It's got some cool stuff.
It gives suggestions on how to change those hyperlocal demographics.
It does on your ad, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So then we've got email campaigns. This integrates with MailChimp as well as a couple other ones. We're not using it yet. I think we will start using this relatively soon.
Does MailChimp come with it, or do you still have to pay the 50
It's a
cents?
partner, yeah, it's an integration partner. I'll show you here in a minute.
Because I think that would be good with open houses.
So we dealt with this too, can you go back to the contacts?
Yeah, if I go into, So I have integrated my MailChimp list, which is 3,066, because there's a Pi, it's called Pi something. It's an integration program that allows you to pull from like Gmail, Yahoo, MailChimp, a lot of these other constant contact, and it'll automatically pull them into your command account. And so I went ahead and dumped it in there. But I can go in, I can look at all that, I can add, subtract, multiply, divide. Sketchhouse, think of it like Canva. This allows you to create
Flyers.
templates. Right now you can do a web or an email. And then you can start adding like photos and all that stuff. I haven't even played with it yet. But it allows you, like, so if you wanted to create a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad or all that, you could do it all in Sketchhouse and then import it. If you wanted to put together your listing presentation, all that stuff, which we probably will, we'll go ahead and take our listing presentations, put them into Sketchhouse, make them editable, and then you guys could go in and say, well, I only want to do certain things, or I want to create a video version.
No, I'm not doing that.
I don't worry, I most likely will outsource it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
We'll see what happens. So this is an important section here. You're gonna see a bunch of stuff coming up.
Oh,
This is
wow.
insights. When you go to a restaurant, when you go to the movies, when you go to a neighborhood, whatever, I will encourage you, please,
Christina made all of those.
to put your insights into Command, because what happens is, when people start going on to Connect, they're gonna start seeing you as a neighborhood agent.
Christina was smart.
Well, yeah, she probably went to a lab.
She jumped on
She
that,
didn't
yeah.
even, she doesn't even live on this side of town, I don't think, either. She works
You're
at
gonna
a
see
gateway
Terry,
and
you're
stuff.
gonna see Sandy McDuffie.
Rick.
So we need to blow these guys out of the water, because they're gonna
Yeah.
get deals, they're gonna get referrals, they're gonna get business from this. So we really, that's like the
So
homework.
they just posted something about it?
Everywhere they go and look at that business or whatever, and they start putting insights.
Isn't he
Is
on
it like
this
Yelp?
office during
Huh?
the day?
Is it like?
It's
Yelp?
exactly it. It's competition for Yelp, and this shows that you're no longer a real estate agent, you're a neighborhood agent.
Would you be able to pull up Yelp reviews that?
You could, you wouldn't be able to import them,
So.
because that's not in the true nature of what we're trying to do.
Sure.
We want to show you that, hey, as a real estate agent,
I know the area.
I know the area, I know
Yeah.
the work-life balance, you know, it's a dog-friendly, it's 0.6 miles to Red Rock, blah, 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 blah. And people are gonna go, you really know
Insights.
Summerlin. Now, make no mistake, Terry and Rick are in Henderson, they're in North Las Vegas, they're in Rhodes Ranch, like they're
Wherever
spending
they
a lot of
go.
time talking about the places that they go. And you don't have to physically go to the location. Like I eat at Paymonts all the time, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna write insights for Paymonts.
Yeah.
And I might write an additional insight for Paymonts and say, oh, hey, Wednesday they got $5 hookah night.
Did you know on
Not
Maryland?
hooker night, hookah night.
I love payments. It's so
Good.
good.
Yeah.
They're closing on Maryland?
I've heard that, yeah.
I
that's
met
the
a
original.
commercial agent the other day, and she was telling me, and same with Macayo's on
Yeah,
Twitter.
they're closing both of those,
Yeah.
I know.
They
I know.
close it payments?
On Maryland.
So just to confirm, that's gonna be consumer facing eventually?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah, so when we taught the class, when the consumer looked at Connect and they scrolled down and it said insights, we start talking like 123 Main Street, here's the insights for everything that's around 123 Main Street. Because the goal is for Keller Williams to have the agent and the consumer only go to one place for everything they ever need home buying and selling for the rest of their life. They don't need to go to Yelp, they don't need to go to Zillow, they don't need to go to all these places.
Mhm.
And if one of those guys does something that's bigger and better than what Keller Williams is doing, we're now a tech company, so we'll just go in and change it.
So if at any point somebody's like, hey, I'm interested in, Dom DeMarco's Pizzeria and Bar, and they type it in on Google, would one of the links possibly be Command?
I can't answer that right now. I would think yes, because Google wants an organic approach to their
Search criteria?
to their searches.
results? Yeah.
So I would assume that we would. I mean, we're the largest real estate company in the world, and we have 180,000 agents, and if 10%, 18,000 agents got on and started doing insights, Google's gonna be like, oh my God.
Well, I mean, it's the 80-20 rule, so I
Yep.
think 20% of the people will, like, everybody we see up there, I've heard of most of them, and they're already doing the insights.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Forgive me, because I don't know much about Command, but is the consumer going to have to download an app in order to do these insights, or is it gonna be?
The consumer is going to have to get into our database first in order to have access.
Okay.
And we can give access to everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can, cause you can share the Keller
Do
Williams
you even
app.
know, okay, so,
They're gonna have
are you
to input
familiar with how to
information
even
on it,
do
yeah.
this? So like, let's say
But
right
if-
here,
but if it's a
Lifetime
consumer-
Fitness, and
if
I
it's a
want,
buyer seller,
do I just
yeah.
go on there and
Yeah.
I make a statement?
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, this is great, da, 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 da.
Log in as you,
Yep.
yeah, or log in as me, either one.
Yep,
And then just start doing it, yeah,
just start
absolutely.
commenting,
Yep.
okay,
Absolutely,
great.
that's it. And trust me, Rick and Terry, Sandy, these people didn't go to these places and go, okay, I'm in front, and they're sitting at home going, where are all my favorite places, or where do I wanna do business, or where did I do the most business last year?
Sure.
No,
Can you
they
post-
have an assistant.
They have
They
something
also-
doing it for them.
They said spend 4 hours and put as many as you possibly can.
That's exactly what happened with Rick and Terry, because Terry
Exactly.
told me.
Yeah.
Sandy probably did it herself.
Mhm.
If you guys were in Mold, Sandy was the British speaking, very
Yeah.
vulnerable. You know, I'm now working on my long, dark brown hair.
Elderly lady?
Huh?
The older.
She's in her 50s, I'm gonna guess, but she's real petite, and she has this very thick British accent, and she got up
She was a
and talked
team
several
leader.
times.
She
I
was a-
saw
She was a
that.
That's
table
Sandy,
leader.
yeah. But she's got a world of past clients, repeats and referrals that they blow up. Like when somebody says, I need a referral in Las Vegas, she's got this network of people that are like, you need to go to her, you need to use Sandy.
What,
da, da, da,
on
da, da.
lab coat?
Any of them, yeah, any of them. Bold, KW, whatever. So she's a good person. So this one, listings, it's obviously not working yet. I can't even click onto it. Local insights we just went through. Landing pages. What is that? So we're back at dashboard. Let's go to, we have settings, we have Sketchhouse, we have, let me go to, so calendar is coming soon. That'll integrate automatically with your current Google Calendar. It'll talk back and forth. You'll probably, I think for your real estate business, you'll probably start using Command, even though we have a hard time with change as real estate agents. Dashboard, they're gonna change the front end. So right now it's very compartmentalized and boxed. It'll be more fluid. Leverage, simplify your systems, findings tracking. That's more for talent. It's gonna be the talent section. Listing consult and then listing. So in my class, in the Tech Roadshow, I had talked about how there is this pre-listing section that you can send ahead of time. It's a link and they can go in and say, well, I think this home's better than my house. I think that my house is superior to this house. They start rating their home before you ever walk in the door, so you don't have to do the heavy listing. That's the direction that's going, is you're gonna send out that, you're gonna see what they're doing, you're gonna see them, saying, well, here's 2 comparable homes in my market center that you pre-selected, and they have to say, well, mine's superior to this one and this is why, well, theirs is nicer than mine and this is why, and then that price range adjusts based on that. Isn't that awesome now that we walk in the door and say, so, looks like the comps are between 100,000 and 150,000, and it looks like you filled out the pre-listing package, the interactive consultative program that I sent you.
It's smart.
So you basically think your house is worth somewhere between 125 and 150. Now my comps are like, yeah, he's at 125. Okay, isn't that an easier conversation?
Yeah.
So great. So what are we going to list your home at? Well, based on everything you sent me, I want to list at 135. Now that's still a hell of a lot better listing than 150.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to come out. Like I think that's going to be killer.
You bring buyer, I sell house.
Yeah.
It's every fist bump.
With brand new green carpet from
Brand new
27
carpet.
years ago.
Good.
Yes. Okay.
That's the release that you wanted?
So the other thing is, here's Connect. So this isn't necessarily going to be your view. This is really, this is part of the consumer side though. And you're gonna be able to toggle back and forth and kind of see some things that they're seeing. Okay, it's not the app, but it is kind of their view and you'll see some stuff from there. Right now what it is it's the whole chat group between agents. And so we're all going in there saying, hey, I can't find neighborhoods and this is inaccurate, can we fix this? a lot of that's happening.
So the complaining tab.
It's the complaint department, yeah, absolutely.
So
Look,
what's
another
the,
social
what's the
network.
website,
Huh?
what's the website a person goes to get to the front?
Well, it is, technically it's kw.com.
Okay.
And right now, if you put them onto our mobile app, that mobile app will convert them, eventually when it's available, it'll convert them automatically.
So however,
Same with our Brivity.
so can you integrate Team Tiffy with KW.com? So
Yes.
Use it as a landing
Our
page.
Brivity will point them there eventually, because it's integrated. So anybody who's on our website right now, if we choose, we can point them when Connect is available, directly connect. Hey, we have a new website, check it out.
Yeah.
Our new website's launching in 30 days. Our new website's coming soon. It's gonna be, we can start having that conversation now.
Okay.
We can start sending them some videos, which I have, to our database to say, hey, we've got some good stuff coming in the future. I'm so excited. Here's a sneak peek.
So with, this is kind of off topic, but is Brivity is KW eventually gonna buy Brivity out, or?
No,
they
so
should
Ben
just-
Kinney owns Brivity.
Yeah, he's-
And Ben Kinney is the prodigy of Gary Keller.
He owns Brevity.
And he owns Active Rain, and he owns 5 or 6 other tech companies. Yes, Ben Kinney owns it.
So is he gonna eventually is Brivity eventually just gonna dissolve, or, I mean, cause I'm sure Keller Williams agents are his highest
They
dollar.
aren't. I thought so. So he said something at Family
Really?
Reunion on one of the panels that we are not the majority of his clientele.
So then he doesn't have anything to worry about, kind of.
I thought he
He's a
did.
smart man, he's got his money on something.
And he bought 2 Canadian companies last week or the
Yeah.
week before. Yeah, follow him. Like get on like Facebook and
I
stuff.
tried to add him on
You
Facebook.
can't have him as a friend. He's got 5,000
You can
members,
add him on Instagram.
but you can follow him.
There-
But he's a real cool. He's a real, just I told you guys the story
Yeah,
about
how he came about.
how I went to the first family reunion. I paid the $800 to go, and I sat there like this. And I'm like, okay, impress me. And I'm looking over at Keith, like, what the hell is this shit? I'm the only one here that's not in red. And then Ben Kinney took the stage with Gary Keller, and about 20 minutes in, I started to lean forward, like, who the hell is this kid? And he said, listen, I was raised with a drug addict mom and dad, and I lived in a 400 square foot cabin, and I had to go halfway down the hill with a shovel to pee and poop.
Drink my own
And I wanted something more in my life. And then I started to discover girls, and then I realized showers were important. And then I got a job as a cable guy, and I was an installer, and I was a damn good installer. And then some guy shows up one day in a BMW, and the head installer was with me on a job, and I said, who's that guy? He goes, oh, he sells the cable. And Ben's like, well, shit, what do I gotta do to sell the cable? So then he goes, well, you need to set your own appointments. So Ben goes to the office one day on his own time, starts going through the phone book. He sets a bunch of appointments. He goes and sells the cable. He goes to his boss and says, well, wait a minute, I still know how to install the cable, so can I also install? He goes, yeah, we pay you more if you do both. So he starts installing.
Oh, wow.
Then he gets a hold of a friend of his who lives way north in Bellingham, Washington, and he says, hey, I have enough money now, I wanna buy a house. And she goes, no, you're single, you're like 25 years old, you wanna buy a duplex. They're big in Northern California, Washington.
And you
She
can rent.
says you want to rent one out
Yeah.
and pay for your mortgage. And he goes, oh my God, that's brilliant. She says, thank you so much. Here's a book, by the way, you should probably read this. Gives him the MREA.
She Keller Williams agent?
She's Keller Williams agent.
Imagine that down.
She's doing pretty good for herself now. He reads the book. He reads the book and he's like, shit, I can do this.
Imagine that downline.
She's like, it's not working anymore.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
look at me now.
Ben tells you I am not the smartest guy in the room. Like, I am not smart. Like, but I surround myself with smart
That was
people.
hilarious.
That is
And he
funny.
builds people. I mean, if you follow this guy, like he's sitting on the couch. He's sitting on the couch with like a bowl of ramen noodles and his dog, and he makes like funny faces.
Ben Kinney?
Yeah, like he's not this front man. He's just a normal guy. He's like, my business has gotten bigger than I am, and I got great people that run it.
I saw a post on something. He posted, it was a family reunion, and it was about him, and he said, that guy must be an idiot or something about himself on his own post.
He constantly says fuck on social media, constantly.
My guy.
Yeah, he's just a normal guy. There's,
It's humble and simple. Just leave
I've
it.
never seen him in a suit.
This is Ben Kinney?
Yeah,
Never seen him in a suit?
Nope.
Well, he
Yeah.
remembers his
This
beginnings.
fucking guy. right here, this guy.
Oh my
Yeah, that's him,
God.
that's Ben.
This
That's him.
guy. This guy
So-
sells 3,000 homes a year.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
so the moral of the story is, he's in bed with Gary, he would give his life for Gary, and,
He realizes where everything's going.
yeah, and he's like, Gary, you have gotten me to where I'm at now, and you'll get me to where I'm going, and I'm all in.
Does he still actively sell real estate?
I don't think he is in production, other than onesie twosies. His job is to be there for his team and he's got a major expansion team, and then he's got all these companies, and that's his business.
Training investments, we are hiring, no title, nice guy. Brevity, active reign, Flossor, quickly, BKC though.
Okay, so any questions on this? Brandon, you said to go back to,
Contacts really quickly.
command contacts?
Yeah, and then just click on someone. So hit dashboard.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting there, it's a little slow.
And then just click on someone.
Okay,
Seems like a nice person.
Poppy.
Okay, so neighborhood, owner, relationships, birthday. Okay, can you go to like pull up like edit details really quickly? Timeline, tasks, notes. Okay. So that little pencil thing next to her name.
yep, this is gonna edit her contact information.
Okay. And then can you text from the platform or call yet?
That's a good question, let's,
Huh?
Not yet, I was playing with it all of the week, so not
Okay,
yet.
so no. Okay, view calendar, add activity, notes, tasks. I mean, it's bare bone, but it's all you really need.
yeah, and then from there, it'll show you the opportunities that are in place with her, it'll show you the tasks for her, it'll show you the notes for her, it'll do all of that. One thing that I didn't show you guys that I gotta see how to get there. I go to Lead Accelerator, and I go, It's here. Actually, see, this is new, this wasn't here before, so they've already created the team. Now they would just have to add everybody into it, so it looks like they might be getting there. So here, so this is like all my applications that I have synced. So you can see Google Calendar, eEdge, Gmail, Facebook, Google AdWords, MailChimp, social media, some of my productivity ones, PySync, that's the one. So for those of you, you can get a free 7-day trial on PySync, and you can link it to your command, and you can link it to all of your other stuff. And then you can start putting all your contacts.
Shannon, just wanted me to remind you that I got it at 1. It's just time to send.
And
Have you guys?
you just ask her if next time if she can make Ignite at 1:30.
1:30, okay. Yeah. We'll see how that-
We'll be out by then.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, right?
Thank you.
No, we'll be done,
It's 12 o'clock.
I'll get everybody out of here by 12:30, so we're gonna be fine. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, so when you do get into your command, you can start syncing your stuff, start playing around with it, get your
Oh, so
personal
that-
contacts in there.
So this PySync will, since this is connected to my computer and my computer,
I just do the 7-day, but make like a day event, and say, okay, I'm gonna go into all my email accounts, I'm gonna go into all my stuff and get it all into command. Because it's a you gotta do them all individually. But it'll go, and then it'll also see if you have multiple contacts, same contacts, and it'll not import them.
Oh, that's really.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really.
Because I didn't really have 27,000 friends, I think I had 27, and they were repeated 20,000 times.
I missed that PySync real quick.
Yeah, so PySync down here, under productivity,
Yeah.
this is an app that you are, it's a third-party software that you can download for, you download it and it's free for 7 days.
Yeah.
And what it does is it goes into all of your other accounts and pulls all your contact and their information, automatically redoes it and dumps it into command.
Sure.
So the right name is in the right spot, the last name is in the last spot, the email address is in the email spot. A lot of these that transition, you put your cell phone number in the email spot. It'll put your
Yeah.
first name last, last name first. PySync, somehow they've got an algorithm that knows how to go in, pull it, and then dump it into command
Sure.
properly.
So that would be a good idea to do, and then do that, and then not pay for it, then just do it for the 7
Yeah, I
days.
canceled mine after 7 days.
Yeah,
In
just-
fact, they let you do it for 7 days, and you don't even put your credit card and stuff in there. 'Cause
Sure.
I don't have enough that I need to go through.
No, but
and
it'd be a
see.
good idea to do it quickly, so you can get your
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I did, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
I just
good.
went into my 4 different Gmail accounts, my
Mhm.
MailChimp, my Constant Contact,
Yep.
and I went and grabbed everything, pulled it all, put it all into Command.
Perfect.
Okay?
Yep, all right.
It's crazy. It sounds
Any questions on that?
Hmm?
So get in, play around,
Well, you could do it.
okay? And in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna look and my goal is to create, my goal is to kind of convert Patty's priorities a little to transactions and basically technology. That's my goal, and so I really want to get her into administrating the technology at a higher level. Because I do believe that that's going to be the role, that like the number 2 in the team is going to be a technology person.
Is Team Tiffy a tech company?
Team Tiffy is a technology company that happens to sell real estate. Yep. Do you disagree? Anybody challenge that?
No.
Like, we spend 95% of all of our energy on our technology. Not about selling homes. We have the numbers to prove that. It's about technology. All right, moving on. Team Tiffy, how many did a social media post? 1, 2. Is it okay if I call the rest of us losers?
Yep. Hey, you know what, question, since I'm over here at, that other one, Terry's place, you know what I'm talking about?
Nope. I have no idea what you're
Genuine,
asking.
since I'm at Genuine,
Oh, okay,
I have
yeah.
a question, so don't I have to change all my information to say I'm with how would I, cause legally for me to be posting and all that stuff, don't I have to be with the right brokerage and all that stuff? It doesn't matter?
No, you do not.
Okay,
That's their little mind game that they're
Sure.
playing. You're no different than a licensed assistant working for me.
okay, so I.
You are no different.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah, for those of you who are at Genuine and are on the team, you are just a licensed assistant.
okay.
You
But
just
you
can't
still
say
have-
realtor on your.
You can't, yeah, you're not a realtor, so you
Yeah.
can't say realtor,
I
but
can
that
still
has
say
nothing to do with
licensed.
this, that has to do with the GLBAR.
Sure,
And you're doing everything on behalf of the team.
okay,
That's
that was my
all that
only
matters.
concern with that.
When it comes
Yeah.
down to a deal, you get an escrow open, now you have a contractual relationship with Genuine. We either
Sure.
need to,
Yep.
if you close the deal while you're at Genuine, you're gonna pay them 20%.
Yep,
Otherwise, we move your license here right before
Yes,
closing,
we talked
and you
about
pay the 26% here, and it goes towards your cap,
yes,
which is the right business decision.
yes, yes.
But, no, Genuine, no.
I was only asking for posting reasons,
Okay.
that's all, just to stay in compliance. Okay,
Nope, you're
no
just
worries.
doing everything on behalf of the team.
Okay,
Yeah, so you can put real estate professional, because you are licensed.
okay,
So you can put real estate professional, you can put agent, you can put whatever you want, not realtor,
yep,
and you're fine.
thanks.
Okay? Alright, so, social media posts, so 411s, I have several 411s this week, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to those. I know Fernanda's on the calendar for today, some of you, I think you're on for tomorrow, right, for Wednesday?
I'm on tomorrow.
You're on this week, aren't you?
I'm on
Well,
Thursday.
I saw you on my calendar.
Did they schedule anything?
I'm putting myself on your
I
calendar.
swear to God, I saw you on my calendar this week.
That's weird.
I'll take
Because
your spot.
She's, damn.
Yeah.
that's
No, I am.
weird.
Cause I'm not.
No, I have to be out for like half a week to do some other
No,
stuff,
it's just for Netta.
yeah.
I'm on the calendar.
It's me.
You're right. So maybe I'm trying to manifest
I
a
think
411.
so. I think so.
Next week?
Next week, definitely.
You hear that? Hold her accountable to it.
Definitely next week.
Okay, cool. All right, moving on. So, I don't really have anything to add. I want to celebrate the fact that everybody is cognizant of their activities last week. We didn't hit the prospecting goal. We didn't hit the appointment goal. We didn't hit the contracts goal. And I saw a dramatic increase, although it's sporadic. So I don't want you guys to really celebrate it, but I do see the shift. Double down on it still, okay? Here's what I did see. I saw last Monday, we made the decision, was it last Monday? Yeah. Last Monday, we made the decision for everybody to prospect wherever they wanted as long as they were held accountable. And it was like rats fleeing the ship. It's like we would come in and be like, there's 2 of us, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
I think one day there was 4 of us.
And there was a dramatic increase?
No, there wasn't a dramatic increase.
What?
Some people increased their results. What I would really encourage Brandon, Connor, and Sharon to look at is week 1, what were our numbers versus the week prior?
Okay.
And are we seeing the team go up in results, or are we seeing the team go down? And then when you can figure out if your team's going up or down, who are the agents on the team that are going up or down? And that's your accountability. You're working from home, your intention is to hit these, you didn't do it the first week, you didn't do it the second week, or you did it the first week, you didn't do it the second week, or you did do it the first week, you didn't the second week, and what are we doing
I think,
to correct that?
I don't know, maybe it would be good if everybody be in office at least 1 day or 2 days a week.
Of
Yeah,
course.
Mondays.
I didn't tell anybody not to come to the office. I quietly, behind closed doors, told Patty and Brandon, and I think I might have said something to one or both of them. I said, here's what's gonna happen. It's a vacation, so everybody's gonna unplug. They're gonna go, whew. They're gonna all work from home, they're all justified, and then about week 2, week 3, they're gonna go, I didn't get shit done. I'm actually in a worse place now than I was 3 weeks ago. I'm gonna start coming back to the office, and I'm gonna have my leadership hold me accountable. But here's what happens. They now are in charge. So you as an agent are now responsible. And I think that's a better agent. It's a better agent. I would love to get to the point where all of a sudden, week over week over week, 75% of the team is at the office. At some capacity for some period of time. Because then I'm like, dude, I have to perform for these guys. I gotta go find more space. I gotta give them this. But that's a whole different conversation. Somebody who shows up, for 3 hours on a Tuesday, I probably can tell you why. They set some appointments, they needed to make some copies, they wanted to get correct on their listing presentation or whatever, and they're out. Okay? But they're probably not here systematically prospecting. So jury's still out on that. I just want us to measure those. I want to see, as my team, as my blue and red team, where are we? Go back to 2 weeks ago, because that's when everybody was in the office. Go back to last week, first week that people weren't in the office, and how does that compare to this week? And I think we will be surprised with the results. Any questions on that? All right, Brandon, you're up.